The mission of Martin Luther King Jr. continues through activists in Temple. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Lindsay Littman. Marchers stepped off from the New Day Fellowship, speaking out against inequality. Today's demonstration comes just weeks after the shooting death of Michael Dean, an unarmed black man who was killed by a Temple police officer last month. The Temple NAACP held several protests recently, demanding justice and transparency for Michael Dean. Maggie Lohmiller joins us with more on how this Martin Luther King Day carries special meaning.
I have a dream today.
A speech that moves masses just as much as it did when it was delivered 56 years ago. The words of Dr. Martin Luther King are carried in the hearts of activists across the nation.
We made progress, but we're still working.
It's important to remember the legacy because Dr. King said it's not by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. So as we see here today, there's a good turnout of folks.
But this year's march is different for many participating. It comes just weeks after Michael Dean was shot and killed by a Temple police officer.
Michael Dean! MLK Jr. pushed heavily against police brutality when people were doing sit-ins and just wanted to be able to live like a regular citizen. They didn't. They got beat up and put in jails, including Martin Luther King Jr. And so today we need to stand with Michael Dean.
Over the past several weeks, the Temple NAACP has been vocal, asking for transparency in the investigation and seeking justice for the 28-year-old father.
A young man who was unarmed, and he had so much more life to give, but it was cut short because the police abused their power, and we need to remember that on today.
Several activists we spoke to say Dr. King's message echoes what the advocacy group has been pushing for since Dean's death. In Temple, Maggie Lohmiller, 25 News.
The Michael Dean case remains under active investigation by the Texas Rangers. They tell 25 News the investigation will end shortly. The officer involved in the shooting has been placed on administrative leave.